Greetings, Globe. Happy Wednesday or whatever day or night it is for you. I wanted to just take a few minutes today to talk about being yourself and being real with yourself. So, keeping it real. I'm my prime, I guess it's called, when I was a teenager in high school and college, was in the 90s. And so keeping it real was a big popular term at the time. So sometimes when I say being real with yourself, it just makes me think about like keeping it real with yourself. And so I want to talk about why that's important because a lot of times, and it's okay, when we're out in the world, we do have what's called a representative self. So that's the person that we want to represent out in the world, the person who, like for me, is a person who's nice and friendly, very supportive, very helpful, very professional, respectful, all of those things. However, when you are getting to a place of being able to keep it real with yourself, you can be real with yourself and acknowledge that those aren't your only qualities and that you have other qualities as well. And it's fine. I'm not saying, keep it real with the world per se and just be who you are with yourself around everybody else because there is a time and a place for everything. And I am a subscriber of that. However, you still can, even when you are in a place where, certain little cultural aspects may have to adapt to the environment, you can still be grounded in who you are as a person. Absolutely. Like you don't have to be completely different in every scenario, but it's just adapting to whatever is, the appropriate etiquette for whatever situation that is. And so for me, that could be when I'm with my dad. It's different from then if I'm just with my brothers or my sister or which can be different from when I'm with my nieces and nephews, which is different from when I'm with my children, which is different from when I am at a workplace, or in a professional setting as an educator versus a professional setting, even as a life coach. So, there are different ways of being as one person in different scenarios. So I'm not saying that you have to be who you discover for yourself can only be for yourself. And this is a part of the self-love journey. And it should only be, for sure, it should be with yourself. Let me say that. And whoever else that you're inspired to be that way with. But I do want to talk today about, why that's important for you to be real with yourself, even if you aren't with anyone else. So, as I've said before, I started this intentional journey to self love and to self discovery about 5 or 6 years ago. And one of the things that I had to be real about was being nice. Like, I'm an empath, and for people who are empaths, or for anyone who doesn't know, empath basically, for me, a simple term is someone who can sense other people's feelings. Their feelings. But I will also say it can be someone who perceives the feelings of others, because sometimes you can be on point with what you are sensing from another person and how they feel, but other times it can be you are telling yourself a story that's not even correct about how this person feels. But oftentimes with empaths, we we're people pleasers. We don't like to make people feel bad. And one of the things I learned about myself once I started being real with myself is that I don't like people to feel bad because I feel bad. Like I can feel their bad feeling energy. And because I'm one of those people who doesn't like to feel bad a lot, um, I don't want to feel bad. And so I try and make other people feel good because it's going to make me feel good. So, of course, there's that big question: is an empath selfish or selfless? Like, there's that two sides of the coin. I say both. And so one of the things that I had to learn was that even though I like to make people feel good all the time, and I do like to be, nice and supportive and all of those things, that there's a part of me that isn't always like that or doesn't want to always be like that. Like there's a part of me that wants to say no, for example. There's a part of me that can be mean, for example, or that stands up for myself and doesn't say, oh, okay, yeah, I can do that. I can do that, And that's something, and I had to learn how to tap into that and be aware of that part of myself, which meant more introspection and paying attention to my self-talk. Okay, and there's a difference between the voices in your head, and I know this may sound like I'm on the fringe now, and self-talk. Okay, and we'll talk about that another time. But paying attention to the messages that you entertain in your thoughts, and that you know, and because they're not always the same as how you're presenting yourself out into the world. And again, I want to just reiterate that it's okay if you present yourself in a way out in the world that's not how you are necessarily when it's just you by yourself in the shower, in the mirror. That's perfectly, I'm not here to say that you have to. I just want to keep, make that stay at the front of everyone's mind, is that you can, the person who you are, who you discover, can be just for you. And I've said that already, but I just want to say it again. And so I had to learn who I was, like on the real tip. And so, yes, I am still a person who is sweet and all those things, but I also learned that I'm a person who can be sour too, and who can not always make everybody feel good. And I had to learn that that was okay. I had to learn that there is value in those other sides. And I don't want this video is not going to be about shadow self, but we will talk more about that in the whole of who we are. But I had to learn that I'm not always sweet inside, and that's okay. And I had to learn how to get to know that side of me, and let that side of me know that it's okay, and that honestly helped me to become stronger against other people's feelings. Like if somebody's disappointed or something like that, and not letting that disappointment impact me as much as it used to. So I just want to take a few minutes just to, encourage you to get to know yourself. And one way that you can begin this journey of being real with who you are is to look in the mirror. I talked about mirror work in the last video, and I want to just build on that. So, besides saying, I love you, I really, really love you, thank you, please forgive me. I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, it's okay, I forgive you, I thank you, and I love you. Besides saying that to yourself, you can also just look at yourself in the mirror. And I've gotten very comfortable with that. So even though I'm talking on this video to myself, technically in my heart I'm talking to others, but I have become comfortable because of my comfort with mirror work and talking to myself all the time. And so I look in the mirror and I ask myself, or at least during that time a lot more, who are you, Ife? Like, who is Ife for Ife? Not Ife the mom, not Ife the wife, not Ife the daughter, not Ife the sister, not Ife the auntie, Ife the cousin, Ife the friend, Ife the niece, like Ife the teacher, Ife the anything. Like all of those other ways of serving out in the world and being out in the world, stripping all of that away, all of the personality stuff away. Like, who is Ife for Ife? And take a moment and look at yourself, and have pen and paper nearby so that you can start to jot down some of the things that come to you. And it may not be anything that comes to you in that moment. And that's okay, because the question has started, has the journey, the discovery has begun. And so even if nothing comes out in that moment, you have opened your mind to looking at yourself in a new way. And so your mind is naturally going to start to entertain that. And so just start to pay attention. Pay attention to who is Ife for Ife, not Ife for everybody else. And so that means a lot of time by yourself to think about, to pay attention to yourself. I mean, of course, everybody, if you're like me, you got children, even grandchildren, and so you may not always have just infinite time to yourself. But even if it's just your time in the bathroom, or your time in the shower, or just trying to just tap into that observer aspect of yourself, and pay attention to just how you are when you're interacting with people. Yet what are the thoughts that are in your head? Like, it's it's a journey like that just takes actions of paying attention to yourself and just again being real with yourself. So it can be scary to be real with yourself because it's like, well, who am I and what am I going to find out? And you may find out some things that you've deemed as bad things, when you see other people do it. But this is a part of the self discovery and the self love journey because honestly, as you continue to learn about the things that you've judged in others and you accept and acknowledge that you possess those very qualities yourself, it may not be at the same degree as other people, but as you continue to go on this journey and embrace that, not only are you accepting yourself more, but you're also going to find that you accept other people more as well. So I'm just going to end there. This is my longest video so far, but hopefully you stay tuned for the whole thing, and hopefully even more that you received a message that resonates with you and something that encourages you to look just more into yourself and learn how to love yourself, and knowing that loving yourself will end up allowing you to love all in all the ways that all shows up even more. So if you do try this process, or if you've tried it before, looking in the mirror and just saying, who am I for me? But use your name like I did. Who is Ife for Ife? Who am I? What are all the ways in which I show up? Asking yourself these things about yourself is just like you're kind of interviewing yourself, and you may have some answers. There may be feelings that you feel, and there aren't any words that go along with it, but all of that is okay because it's just a part of opening up the exploration of yourself. So please leave some comments. If you haven't already, subscribe, like my video. Please share it with other people who you think would benefit from some self-love, the journey of self-love, the joy of learning to fall in love with yourself. It sounds crazy to a lot of people. I know it's not how we're raised to look at things in the society, but it really is beautiful, and it feels good too. It really does. Um, and also, if you're interested in talking with me more for one-on-one services or even group coaching, you can send me a message. You can find my information in the description box. So, excuse me, until next time, everyone, have a great day.